Basically, operations with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra has to do with all the logistics behind putting the orchestra on the stage. And that includes everything from writing contracts for soloists to arranging transportation for soloists to drawing orchestral plots to make sure that we can fit all our musicians on the stage of whatever venue we're playing at, and we play everywhere. Since our theater was destroyed in Katrina, our orchestra lives inside, not the players, but all our equipment live inside a Penske truck, 24-foot Penske truck, and we traipse around the city. We play at a lot of Baptist churches, both here and on the North Shore. We play at Mahalia Jackson when we can get in there. We're waiting for our theater, perhaps the Orpheum, to be rebuilt. We don't know if it's ever going to happen, but it may. So the thing about symphony operations, it is everything that goes on behind the scenes to put that orchestra on stage. And that's what we do in this office. And the fascinating thing about the job is that it has so many different aspects to it that it is impossible to get bored, because you're on one topic or solving one problem for 10 minutes, your phone rings, and you're on a completely different problem. So you bounce from one thing to the other, to the next. And hopefully when you're through bouncing, you have the symphony on the stage at Mahalia or at First Baptist Covington, and the concert is wonderful, everyone's happy and they love it. You know. And then you move on to the next concert, get ready for it.
We have a couple different concert series in the education department. We have Early Explorers, which is for the younger kids. It's for pre-K through first grade students. And that's just, you know, like I said, it's really special to see the kids' faces when they first see these instruments for the first time. And they look at all the orchestra members like they're rock stars, and they're just so cool. So that's one of my favorite things to see. And they're a tough concert to organize sometimes because we have 67 musicians in our orchestra, and because all of them are really participating in that program, it can become, you know, kind of a mess, because there's also 300 kids that are coming to see them, so it's a lot of back and forth, but you know, it's worked out, and it's always such a nice relief when it's when it's completed. For all of those concerts, I make teacher guides that have lesson plans and activities for the teachers to use beforehand or after, just, you know, depending how they can best use it in their classroom. And one of the other programs that I create is with the Historic New Orleans collection, and that is where the Musical Louisiana program started.
You know, one of the dilemmas all musicians have, I think, is the difficulty of maintaining a musical life while you have to pay your mortgage and put food on the table. I think I stopped earning my living as a singer in 1991, but I never stopped singing. I just had a day job and then spent my evenings gigging to whatever extent I could. And that essentially has continued to be the way that I live at this particular point. Good. Now see if you get the accent more.
Look at what it did to Romeo. It dealt poor Romy an awful blow. If love could do that to Romeo, what chance have I with love?
I moved to New Orleans for college, and I just got sucked in. I'm about 10 years living here, and I feel like I've been here forever. It's just awesome. There's so much to do, so much going on in the arts community, not just in music. So many awesome theater companies and art galleries, and again, it's all kinds of music. There are indie rock bands that I know really well from being in one myself, but also great jazz going on, great classical music. And I luckily get to play in a lot of those different venues. I've gotten to work with awesome Cliff Hines, who's at UNO, or was at UNO, a great jazz guitarist. But I also play in a string quartet with a lot of my colleagues from Loyola, playing classical music. And then I get to play in these bands, and I play with folk artists like Andrew Duhan or Natalie May, to do awesome things like play Voodoo Fest, but then also play at tiny places like Neutral Ground Coffee House. There's such a diversity in this city that, you know, maybe is in other cities, but it's not as tight-knit, I think. And that's what I think is really awesome about New Orleans.
You know, at a certain point in a musical career, it's good to get off the stage and start doing other things. There are a lot of performers that you see that you wish would get off the stage and start doing other things. Some of them don't have the sense to move in that direction and try to keep their careers rolling till long past where they should have stopped. That's always a difficult argument to have with any artist, but frankly, I think I reached that decision that I could be a lot more productive now, turning my experience and my talent back to helping younger people move into the arts with my teaching, or doing administrative work, which again helps an organization survive in what is an economically tough time and a very difficult field, which is arts and culture. The music is so much a part of who I am. It would be impossible for me to give it up. And when you have a day job as a musician, then you simply have to give up your evenings to feed that other part of your psyche, which makes you a complete human being.
When all of your armor and all of your shields are gone,